Good morning and welcome to your one-stop breakfast program on MCLtv. Good morning, Abia. It's Tuesday, the 16th day of April 2019. Gradually coming to Easter, and I have Ruth Hams with me in the studio. Ruth, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning, Ojoba. And good morning to you, Abbas. Welcome to your one-stop breakfast program on TV. Good morning, Abba.
Of course, the program comes every morning to inform, entertain and educate you. It's a breakfast program. It's one that is aimed at starting your day on a very good note. And you know how we do it every morning. We begin with the words on marble, and it is always full of exciting words, words for good thought, things that will really change the way you see life. And this morning is a very interesting one.
And this is coming from Norman Vincent Peale. When you affirm big, believe big, and pray big, big things happen.
I am sure why we decided to repeat the words on marble this morning. We took it yesterday. Yeah. And because we are gradually coming to Easter, like I did say earlier, and one thing Easter holds for us is that very moment that people really need to know what Christ did for them. And so most people, because of situation of things, have lost sight of the real meaning of Easter. Okay, Lent ended on Sunday, and then you see what this week holds, and somebody is trying to what should we expect of this very week?
Yeah.
What should we expect? It should be that thing for which Christ died, making us be something, making us be that which God wants us to be. Remember, He said He came to correct some of the things, and part of it is the mindset of human being. Mindset that you feel you're down and out, you feel you're defeated, you feel you're rejected. You shouldn't be in that very mood. Rather, it wants us to begin to look at ourselves the way God sees us. And He says, when you affirm big, what is it that you affirm big? And the Bible said He loved us. You realize that He loved us. And before somebody can love you, there must be something unique about you.
Yes, and also relating it to what you said about Easter, what Christ did for us on the cross of Calvary. I don't want to sound like a pastor.
No, it's not something about it. It's the season we're in.
Yeah, season we're
in. If it's Christmas, you're in the mood of Christmas. Now, if it's Eid Fitr, Eid Kabir, whatever, you should be in that very mood. There's a reason for every season. And every season comes with other things that goes with it. And this is Easter period. And this Easter comes with a whole lot. And for those that believe in Christ, for those that, the Christians, we have a lot of beliefs. For the Christians, this is that very week that they should do what Norman Vincent Peale said. Thinking big. You need to first of all affirm it. If I don't value you, Ruth,
I won't take sacrifices.
I won't. Definitely I will not, because you mean nothing. You're nothing. But for this very period, for that very reason for which that thing was done, which was done, that made it to now this season to be unique, we need to be emphasized. It needs to be told. It needs to be said. Let people hear it. When it's Eid Fitr, Eid Kabir, it should be told. When it's Christmas, it should be told, because there's a reason for every season.
Yeah, and of course, it's not just about thinking about when Jesus did this week. Even on normal days, we should always have this consciousness as Christians that even John 3:16 says, "For God so loved."
And that is where the whole of all this started.
That He gave His only begotten Son. If I don't cherish you, if I don't see you as valuable, if I don't see you as big, I wouldn't give my only daughter, just like me having an only daughter, and I'm saying, okay, go and die for these people. It means that I see something wonderful in you, I see something great in you, and because God sees something great in us, it should actually prompt us to also see that greatness that God sees in us. Like I was always say, as a man thinketh is, so he is. Even if you actually wear the costliness of clothes, but your mindset is not right. That is what
the words of marble wants to correct.
Yes, exactly.
You realize that most people think so low of themselves. Low self-esteem. And you know what that does? It kills you, it destroys you. And the moment it sets in, you're finished. Because you're secluded from the people. You're always on your own. Some people feel Well, why is he always on his own? Check him very well. He has low
He's just
self-esteem.
building the walls of defense.
He doesn't know how to come out of it.
Yeah.
But what Norman is telling us this morning is that we should know how to come out of it. We should be able to affirm big. We should be able to think big. We should be able to believe big. And then big things will happen.
Exactly.
In other words, nothing will happen to you. No major thing will happen to you. There won't be any major through until you decide to be part of the process to bringing that to be. Do you understand? Everything, every success is initiated. And who initiates
That is
it?
intentional also.
Yeah, who initiates it? You.
Yeah.
You initiate it. You start from where you are. I did say yesterday that the right place and the right time to start is where you are and now. So today is also the right time. Where you are watching this very program is the right place. And is the right moment to begin doing something big for yourself. Even as we march towards actualization or the fulfillment of that very Easter, for which Christ died. So I think people should realize that there's a reason for Christ doing that. And I'm very, very sure, I don't need to be told, that it's for our own good.
Sure.
It's for our own good.
It is for our own good.
All right, I hope that have also made sense to you this morning. As you move about all that you have to do today, please use the words of Norman Vincent Peale, and surely you're going to be a successful person at the end of the day. It's time for us to go to the news angle for the news review. And as usual, Ruth Hams will handle that.
Welcome to the news on Good Morning, Abia. Now, details of the news. The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, has disclosed that the federal government has commenced discussion with the World Bank with a view to take $1 billion loan for the development of the power sector. Meanwhile, Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Godwin Emefiele, has said that the current foreign exchange stability in the economy will attract more foreign investors. The minister and the CBN governor spoke at the press briefing marking the end of the 2019 spring meetings of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund (IMF) in Washington, D.C., United States of America yesterday. Emefiele said that the various monetary policies put in place by his team have increased investor confidence in the nation's economy. He added that the nation was also on track towards achieving the 80% financial inclusion target by 2020. He disclosed that the nation had achieved over 60% and that it is optimistic that the various strategies put in place to achieve the target will be successful. Also speaking, the Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, equally revealed that her delegation held discussions with the World Bank with a view to taking $1 billion loan for the development of the power sector. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, has said 14 disadvantaged states will benefit from the NPower Build, a vocational training component of the NPower program. It said the scheme dedicated to the training and certification of unemployed youth, which targets 75,000 youths, is aimed at building highly competent and skilled workforce of technicians, artisans, and service professionals. Speaking in Enugu during the special day of the National Directorate of Employment (NDE) at the 30th Enugu International Trade Fair, it disclosed that the registration for the program is still ongoing for the 14 states. He also said 400 private training centers and 30 NDE-operated skills centers have been designated for the training that will commence next month throughout the nation. The minister listed the benefiting states to include Sokoto, Kebbi, Katsina, Gombe, Adamawa, and Nasarawa states, and others are Oyo, Abia, Ebonyi, Edo, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Kaduna, and Kwara states. Ngige further assured the government and the people of Enugu State that NDE will continue to do its best in addressing the challenge of mass unemployment in the state. He congratulated the Enugu Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, ESIMA, for its continued commitment to hosting the annual business gathering, which serves as a melting pot for entrepreneurs, manufacturers, innovators, and marketers to interact for the furtherance of business initiatives. A team of experts in the United States, visa for investors, will be in Nigeria to meet investors wishing to migrate to the United States through green card. The experts will address intended migrants at a seminar organized by Brandley's International Nigeria Limited (BIL) later this month in Lagos in conjunction with the United States-based MCFI. The seminar, which will hold at the Sheraton Hotels in Ikeja on April 27 and 28, will focus mainly on EB5 US visa. The experts are expected to educate and answer participants' questions on other types of United States visa. Tagged engaging the experts, the seminar intends to service individuals or families seriously looking to relocate to the United States under the EB5 visa program. BIL's Chief Executive Officer Idowu Olumide said, in quote, "We also intend to use same seminar to educate interested persons or groups who do not meet the EB5 visa program but would like to know other forms of immigration by investment or business investors such as other E-classes, E1, E2, among others, and their differences." Olamide said that MCFI founded the first federally designated EB5 regional center in the state of Maryland, with additional approved geographic areas of Northern Virginia and Washington, D.C., and since have expanded into other regions across the country. He added, to quote, "MCFI assists foreign investors to take advantage of the EB5 investment immigration program, which helps them direct their assets towards sound investments and earn a permanent green card in the process." Leading the experts to Nigeria are the president of MCFI, Lawrence Chang, and the company's executive sire, Tor Christian Dorsey. And the leadership of Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has expressed readiness to partner with the Michael Imodu National Institute for Labour Studies (MINILS) in building the capacity of the Nigerian workers. President of NLC, Ayuba Waba, gave this indication when the management of the institute paid him a courtesy visit at its office in Abuja. In a statement, Waba described the institute as one very dear to the NLC, saying, quote, "I want to assure you of our readiness to collaborate with you and see how we are able to maximize the benefits that the institute, in its experience as a foremost labour institute, can actually bring to Nigerian workers." Quote. Earlier, the Director General and Chief Executive of the Institute, Saliu Alabi, congratulated Waba on NLC's achievement under his leadership in the struggle to better the lot of the Nigerian workers. He noted that MINILS has contributed its quota to the development of the country through its activities, stressing that the need to partner with the NLC was born out of the desire to serve the Nigerian workers better. And similarly, Amalgamated Union of Public Corporation, Civil Service Technical and Recreational Services Employees lauded the Institute for providing qualitative labour education which members of the union have benefited from. President of AUPCTRE, Benjamin Anthony, while receiving MINILS management of the custody visit to his office, noted that the Institute had impacted significantly in leadership skills and practices, and pledged his union's continued support and participation in the Institute programs. And Governor Abdulaziz Yari of Zamfara State yesterday insisted that elections into the 14 local government areas were called on April 27, despite the security challenges in the state. Yari made this known at a stakeholders meeting organized by the State Independent Electoral Commission, ZASIEC, in Gusau. The governor was represented by the State Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Alhaji Bello Dankade. He said the state is ever ready to support the commission to conduct free, fair and peaceful council elections. Recall that the tenure of office of the 14 local government chairman had expired on January 2, but was extended to 2nd of May by the State House of Assembly. And the governor said, in quote, "As we are all aware, both state and federal governments are working hard to end banditry in the state, and positive results are being recorded. We are hoping that before the day of the election, more successes will be achieved." He therefore urged security agencies in the state to redouble their efforts to improve peace and stability in the state. Yari also said the government has provided all that is required by the Commission for the elections, urging it to work towards meeting the people's expectations. He urged the political parties in the state to present competent, credible and qualified candidates for the elections, and appeal to communities in the state to cooperate with the government for successful conduct of the election. And the Shekinah School of Catering, Hotel Management and Fashion Design has held its graduation and matriculation ceremony. MCL News witnessed the ceremony. The report.
The graduation and matriculation ceremony attracted students and management of the school, as well as friends and well-wishers. Speaking during the ceremony, Administrator of the Shekinah School of Catering, Hotel Management and Fashion Design, Joseph Ake described the institution as a place with many motivational ideas and packages. These include practical technical courses like catering, hotel management, fashion design, decoration, millinery, craft, industrial processing, and facial technology. This will equip the students for self-reliance and capacity building. He urged the graduating students to be good ambassadors of the institution wherever they find themselves. Some of the graduating students who spoke to MCL News commended the Shekinah School of Catering, Hotel Management and Fashion Design for imparting into them skills that will make them self-reliant. During the ceremony, the new entrants took the matriculation oath.
So help me God. Today, being the 13th day of April 2019, I present to you the first batch of matriculating students of Shekinah School of Catering, Hotel Management and Fashion Design. By the power bestowed upon me and other statutory power, I proclaim you qualified students of Shekinah School of Catering, Hotel Management and Fashion Design.
The ceremony featured the procession of the matriculants and graduates, exhibiting of acquired skill products, unveiling and lighting of the same fourth cake, as well as presentation of certificates, awards, and gifts. 53 students graduated from the institution for the 2019 session, while 42 matriculated. Jonah Oje, MCL News.
French President Emmanuel Macron has vowed to rebuild the medieval Cathedral of Notre Dame after a major fire partially destroyed the Paris landmark. Firefighters managed to save the 850-year-old Gothic building's main stone structure, including its two towers, but its spire and roof collapsed. The fire was declared under control almost 9 hours after it started. The cause is not yet clear, but officials say it could be linked to extensive renovation works underway. Paris prosecutor's office said it currently being investigated as an accident. A firefighter was seriously injured while tackling the blaze. Visiting a site on Monday night, Mr. Macron said, in quote, what has been avoided with the preservation of the cathedral's main structure as it plans to launch an international fundraising scheme for the reconstruction. We'll rebuild this cathedral altogether, and it's undoubtedly part of the French destiny, and the project will have for the coming years, the quote said Macron. Billionaire Francois Henry Pinault, chairman and CEO of Kerry Group that owns the Gucci and St. Laurent fashion brands, has already pledged £100 million, about 100 million euros, about 86 million pounds, and $113 million towards rebuilding Notre Dame, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The French charity foundation du Patrimoine is launching an international appeal for funds. The fire started at around 4:30 p.m. Nigerian time on Monday and quickly reached the roof of the cathedral, destroying its stained glass windows and the wooden interior before toppling the spire. Well, that will come to the end of the news, but more news will be coming your way with the newspaper review. That will be after the break. Please stay with us.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
My brothers, I say wetin man go do for this world where people no go talk. If you chop,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no chop, dem go talk. Wetin make we do for this world? I say make we dey do the things wey we carry for heart. Na so world want am. Abi no be so?
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCLtv.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV. Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV. Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Baby, da 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 da. You're my hopes, my dreams, everything, you sweet babe. Oh, 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 yeah. I wake up in a cold sweat. Why? Because I haven't seen you yet. I normally see you in my dreams. I thought I heard you speak. Waiting for the day to end. I'll be staring at you 8 by 10. And as I lay me down to sleep, starts over again. Yeah. Do you know I spend all day, all night, thinking about you, dreaming about you. Do you know I spend most of my time wishing for you?
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
All right, you're welcome back. It's still your one-stop breakfast program on MCLtv. Good morning, abia. Before we take the papers this morning, there's a very interesting discussion we wish to have. Very interesting. You may be wondering why I chose that word. Very interesting. Well, everything we do here is interesting. I still have Ruth and Hans with me, and Ruth, this is something that most people may not know the importance or the significance, but it's very vital in the existence of any society or any community. Recall a few days ago, I had told us that, in fact, we were discussing and we felt there's always need for us to be good ambassadors, especially if you get to the airport, the very first people you meet after the immigration officer that welcomes you is the policeman. And then today, when you visit any town, you look at the transporters. They are the good ambassadors of that very society, because they are the ones you first come in contact with before you get to your destination. Now, when you get to your destination, the second set of people you meet are those in the hospitality industry, the hoteliers. Why? Because that is where you relax, that's where you have your comfort and everything. And so you at that point know exactly who these people are. Remember, you've met the police, you've met the motorists or the transporters, you're now meeting those that is in the hospitality industry. Okay, these are the people, the first set of people you meet with before you now relax in any society or any town or any environment. Whatever these people do to you tells you who or how that society is formed or structured. And so this morning we have this very young man. In fact, before I introduce him to our viewers, let's remember that the last time we had the most honest person in Nigeria, the most honest Nigerian, was during a Goodluck Jonathan's administration, when somebody saw money at the airport and returned it. And some people said, why return it in a bad economy? That money could have helped you, could have done this, could have done that. Some also applauded it, that lady for her actions. And the question will be, in this economic situation as we have it today, especially, some people will say the economy is so bad that you can't afford 3 square meals. Is still a possibility? Is there still a possibility that somebody will be a good Nigerian or a good abia?
An honest
Nigerian who is ready, even in the face of such challenge, to say no.
Breakdown to actually say, I will stand out.
Yeah, before, is this still possible?
Yeah, of course.
It's possible.
But this morning we are going to find out.
Oh, well, yeah, viewers, for you to know what we're talking this morning, we have a young man in the studio with us right now. This young man goes by the name Francis Michael. It will surprise you to know that he's just a Nigerian. He's an Abian, just like every one of you, watching this program, those on the street as well. But this is a young man that have decided to be exceptional. A young man that have decided to tell the community that no matter the situation of this, no matter the economic crisis we are having, we still have honest people. You may think he's a millionaire, somebody who rides limos and everything. No, this is a young man, a staff of a hotel, Elitona Hotels to be precise. And this young man happens to be one that you may even want to look down on should you visit such a place. Why? Because he is what some people call a common cleaner. But today, that name, common, has been erased because this young man has shown us what it means, even if you're a millionaire, to still be a common millionaire with all your money, to be a common man with all your money, unless the right thing is done. It's our pleasure to have on stage with us this morning, Francis Michael. Francis, good to have you with us.
Yeah, good to have you too.
Yeah, you're welcome to the program. And you may be wondering, what is Francis Michael doing in our studio this morning? In fact, this is a young man that wants every commendation. This is a young man that everybody should applaud. Francis Michael is a staff, like I said, of Elitona, and a cleaner who did what most people will find hard to do. Yes, Ruth.
Yeah, Francis Michael actually showed us that Nigerians can, of course, be honest. He saw, while cleaning the room where he works at the Tuna Hotel, he found $1,500
in an envelope.
And most Nigerians will say, "Oh, God has buttered my bread.
Do you know what $1,500
I
is?
know how much. You know, $1.
It's over $500,000.
Of course it is.
It's over $500,000.
It is, of course it is.
That's going close to 600,000.
Yes, yes, of course.
He saw it in an envelope.
And he saw it in an envelope, and he
Michael,
actually.
let me ask you, when you saw that money, when you saw the envelope, what was your reaction?
I was very surprised at first, but I thought maybe it was paper in the envelope. But when I have a closer look at it, it was cash and it was a foreign currency that is in dollars. So I was like, honestly, every Nigerian or every person, you must have a second thought. But the only thought I came to my mind was giving it back to the person, because we do normally have training in our hotel that you never take anything that doesn't belong to you. And if you want a guest or if you want your customers to come back to your hotel, that means you have to be sincere and also be specific in whatsoever thing you are doing. So the only thought that came to my mind was giving it back to the person.
But before you know, how did it actually happen? Can you just narrate how it happened that day?
On that fateful day, normally as usual, I came to work and we were being assigned what to do. Then getting to the room, I was like trying to clear some things, cleaning it. So under the chair, I saw an envelope. Then having a closer look at it, lo and behold, it was cash in it. So I was like, so I had to give it back to her. So when she came back, she was like,
You first reported it to the management?
No, she came in before.
Okay, before you even came back?
Yes.
Okay.
So
how do you know it was her? She reported she left the room and forgot the envelope or what?
No, it was under the chair.
Okay.
Under the chair. So when she came back, I was like, this is what I saw. She said she thought she has lost it, not inside the room, but outside.
Okay, she didn't actually know that she left the envelope in the room?
Yes.
Okay, so how did she come back to the hotel? She just came to try?
No, she wasn't around when I was doing the cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I was still doing the cleaning, now she had to come back.
Okay.
So
and she still met you cleaning the room?
Yes, so that was when I gave it back to her. So she was like, she never knew that the cash is still in her room. She thought that she has misplaced it outside. So that was what happened.
Now, was that ever a second thought of you looking at the way the economy is? Was that ever a second thought of, I have to take this, nobody would know, I'm the only one in the room?
Yeah, as I've said, as a Nigerian and as a human being, there must be a second thought. Because considering the facts concerning the Nigerian economy now, everybody will like, let me take this. This is mine. This is maybe God just buttered me a bread or something like that. I was like, honestly, the only thought that came to my mind was giving it back to her.
Wow.
Okay, you felt that was the right thing to do, and you have to do the right thing.
Yes.
You didn't really bother what that going to help you, your family. You felt you should. Well, I think at this point I would like to have a response from our guests, just few. Maybe we'll take one or two calls, and then let's see what you have to ask this young man. The line is now open. The number will be on your screen any moment from now. The number to call and want to ask Michael a question. In fact, Francis Michael should be celebrated because he is one person now that have really shown too that we still have honest Nigerians. We have honest Abians. Everybody is not evil. That you go out there and you lose your wallet and maybe people boggle your house. Everybody is not that way. That somebody saw such cash and decided to return it to the owner. It's not. You might think it's just an easy thing. Try it. Let somebody drop 10,000 naira by your side, and when you are riding a keke, what do you do with that money? How many persons will be bold enough to return such amount? Almost 600,000 naira found cleaning a room. Cleaning a room. I didn't say he's a banker. I said he's a hotel cleaner. Somebody who was doing his normal job saw the money in the room that he's cleaning. How many people have lost items in hotel rooms? But this young man did not just see an item. He saw cash. $1,500.
Now, Francis Michael, your colleagues, when you returned, what was the reaction? How did they feel when you returned the money?
I didn't discuss anything with them, but I just gave it to
But they must have heard the news.
I think if they should They should maybe from others, but I never discussed.
But did anybody, when they heard it, did anybody accost you, say, Michael, look at you didn't do well, you should have taken the money? Was there any such reaction? Or did they all praise you, oh, Michael, you did very well?
Yeah, someone was like, why did you give it back? And I said, no, I wasn't trained that way. And besides, as I've said, in our hotel, we normally have a training.
All right, now talking about this, your hotel training, I'm sure for such a gesture, she reported to management.
Yes.
And then what did the management do?
He congratulated me. But I know, and I'm sure, and I know my MD, he's going to do something about it.
Well, the important thing is that a good deed has been done.
Yeah, sure.
Well, a name has been set, which also merits an award. When you talk about awards, yes, such merits an award. Not just award cannot. It has to be 2 awards to an attorney as a management, training their staff, to be of such attitude. That's one thing, and also to that very staff that is able to prove that this is.
And the training is not.
I think it's a good one. We must congratulate you, from this very platform. The management of MCL will have to congratulate you so much. It means we are identifying with the right company. You see the advert of Editona rolling on the screen almost every morning. That shows that we have good partners. So we want to congratulate you, and we also want to use you as a challenge to other people out there, not just hoteliers, to commercial motor operators, to tricycle operators. Name them in any way you are representing. It is our society. Please represent us well. I started it from the airport. Okay. Now, as you are entering into the country, the first people you meet is always a shame that somebody will come out and okay. Let's take this call before we continue. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Please reduce the volume on your TV set and talk to us. Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
My name is John. I'm calling from Fox Road.
All right, John, calling us from Fox Road. Good to hear your voice this morning. Well, you've seen our guest here. What do you have to say?
Well, first and foremost, I want to commend the young man. It takes courage. It takes sincerity to do what he has just done. But the question also goes back to the returner. And first, also, I want to say, show the management. So if you listen to the man talk about how it's being grown by the hotel management, it's volume to say that means the hotel also very safe for everybody. But the question is, yes, the hotel is giving back the self-application. So the young man doesn't go back and say, I had an opportunity that I didn't want in my life. So I think the hotel needs to find a way. So the community. And I also say that MCL should give more. When I mean give more, these are things we need to talk about. We still have some good abia. We still have some people. And the fact, this is what abia is doing for. Looking for the next person. Covering for the next person. So I think it's a good one. And the young man has a lot of the communication.
Thank you very much, John. Well, it says in the spirit of Abba. This is what Abba is known for. Of course, covering, for one another. Watching somebody's back. If you know what this young man says, I don't know how old some of us are, but I know that some of us that are as old as will recall that in the late 70s and early 80s, you can't shout Abba wherever you are, and people will not come out.
Yes.
Everybody will partner with you. That was when the song Zobu Zobu Enyimba Enyi used to reign. That you can't victimize another person. Now, Michael, we want to thank you for having such courage. It takes courage to do what you did. Ruth, I don't know. This morning, there's this what some Bible said. You have to affirm big. You have to also, believe big. You have to think big, and big things will happen. But this young man have shown us that in affirming big, in thinking big, in believing big, that you also need to have a big heart to do a good thing, a positive thing, that big things will not happen. And to answer the question John asked if the management have done anything. I want to tell you, even if the management doesn't do anything, which they will, I know, but he that rewards everything done with sincere heart will reward you, because what you've done is a very great thing. And I'm sure on a very good day, we're going to talk of this very story too. Sure. The other way, because this is going to lead somewhere. Sure. Surely will lead somewhere. Sure. We want to thank you for coming on the program this morning. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Francis, for what you did. And viewers, we want to also let you know that anywhere we have such good acts, such good deeds by the people of Abia State of Nigeria, be rest assured that we'll bring them here to celebrate them, because such is what celebrating. This is where we'll leave it. We'll go for a break. When we come back, it will be time for newspaper reviews. Please stay with us.
Non-stop breakfast show on TV.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
My brothers, I say, what did man go do for this world where people no go talk? If you chop,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no chop, then go talk. What did make we do for this world? I say, make we dey do the things where we carry for heart. Now so world want am. I be not been so.
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCLtv.
Goodmorning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
All right, welcome back. It's time for us to take a look at the papers this morning. Let's start with the Daily Sun. Access Declaration. CCT decides on Ohen's fate Thursday. CCT decides on Ohen's fate Thursday. Talk about CCT. Code of Conduct Tribunal decides on Ohen's fate Thursday, and the story is on page 5. The soldiers killed 27 terrorists. Soldiers killed 27 terrorists. Seized arms, ammunition, vehicles in Borno. Bandits killed 16 in Nasarawa. JAMB registrar indicts private universities, accuses them of aiding academic corruption. Go to page 8 for details of the story. It says, we will tackle court-related killings in Rivers. Wike Bowles. Stories on page 12. Electors Evasion Court renews order for arrest of ex-Eagles captain JJ Okocha. The story is on page 5. And then the picture element there is that of residents of Unsolakpa community in Ahuku local government area of Ebonyi State protesting alleged takeover of their land by some persons who claim to be working for the state government yesterday. Federal government responsible for insecurity in Ogoni, Mosop, is on page 12. Right, let's go to the back page of the Daily Sun. We meet Ray Egbo, where he talks on cashless policy. Cashless policy is on page 47. Right, AFCON 2019, Eagles beware, Shiromu cries out. Eagles beware, Shiromu cries out. Ike Shiromu, I'm sure you know that. He has cried out that Eagles should beware. Go to page 43 for that story. Also, watch out for more sports details and sports segment with Jonah Oji. Right, Levi Obijo for Insights article. Who is a Nigerian? That's a question, and a big one too. Who is a Nigerian? Citizen Joe this morning, relaxing, says, why I'm challenging Dino Melaye's election smart. Deyemi, Citizen Joe quietly replied, brotherly fight. Not so. Says, why I'm fighting, challenging Dino Melaye's election. And Citizen Joe replied, brotherly fight. Well, just brotherly fight. That's it for Daily Sun this morning.
And of course, on the Nation newspaper, starting from the top right corner, Obaseki awards 2.8 billion road projects. Anambra chief, 2 others paraded. Owando First Bank, others get awards. AFCON, Mikel wants to play for Nigeria. It comes with a picture element of Mikel will be there. And of course, details of the stories can be found on pages 39, 12, and 47. On the top left corner, we're seeing the picture element of the governor of Rivers State and governor-elect of Rivers State, Yeso Wike. Says Rivers to tackle court-related killings. Rivers to tackle court-related killings. Troops kill 27 Boko Haram terrorists. Troops kill 27 Boko Haram terrorists, and details of the stories can be found on pages 39 and 6. Away from that aside, Tribunal orders INEC to allow Ekere access to election materials. Tribunal orders INEC to allow Ekere access to election materials can be found on page 39. UTME, 50 exam contractors held. 50 exam contractors held. UTME. Crazy bills era set to end. Crazy bills era set to end. Very happy. It's a good news, especially for electricity consumers. Crazy bills era set to end. And of course, we've seen a picture element of the Gothic building, talking about the Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, France, which actually caught fire. A global tragedy. Smoke and flames rise during a fire at the landmark Notre Dame Cathedral in central Paris yesterday. Underneath that is a bold headline on Noggin. I didn't confess to hiding my bank accounts. On Noggin, I didn't confess to hiding my bank accounts. It comes with a picture element of the former Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onnoghen. Prosecution ceased, suspended CJ and guilty. Prosecution ceased, suspended CJ and guilty. Judgment on Thursday. Judgment on Thursday. I'll be reading what's written here. It says, it is true in ordinary parlance that once a person says he did something, that is admittance. But confession in law is different from confession in general parlance. What the defendant said he forgot, he did not mean he confessed. When the defendant said he forgot, he did not mean he confessed. And of course, this is coming from the prosecutor. If the defendant said, I did not declare because I forgot, it is for the court to decide whether or not forgetting is a defense envisaged by the Act. In 2016, he declared his assets without referring to the bank accounts. Continuation of this story can be found on page 6. Massacre suspects freed. Massacre suspects freed. Militants kill policeman in Cross River State. Militants kill policeman in Cross River State. Details of the stories can be found on page 5. We move to the back page of the Nation newspaper, where we are seeing today in the Nation, coming from Olakunle Abimbola. It says, a sunken annoying is fitting metaphor for a diminished judiciary, but the judiciary must pull themselves from the rut. A sunken annoying is fitting metaphor for a diminished judiciary, but the judiciary must pull themselves from that rut. Olakunle Abimbola today in the Nation. Underneath that is comment and debate coming from Louis Odion. The bottom line, it comes with the headline, Regulating Anambra's Obituary Economy. Regulating Anambra's Obituary Economy. Comes with the picture element of the governor of Anambra, Governor Willie Obiano. Showere's affirmative gesture is another column underneath that. Showere's affirmative gesture. And of course, underneath that, hardball. Facts and lies collide. Facts and lies collide. And just to spice up your day's ripples, 5 policemen held as woman is shot dead, says news. 5 policemen held as woman is shot dead. A cinema there who is being hospitalized with bandages all over him, say, now we know our common enemies in Nigeria, Boko Haram and police. Now we know our common enemies in Nigeria, Boko Haram and police. Not a good one there for the police, if you ask me. But that does it for the Nation newspaper.
All right, the New Telegraph is the last but not the least. Kachibu YFOQ return says it will be difficult to remove subsidy. Fear of scarcity grips can. How Fayoshe received 1.2 billion naira from an answer by bank manager. Stories on page 2. 2019 UTME JAM arrests 50 professional examination writers is on page 7. As a pregnant woman, 15 others killed at naming ceremony. Go to page 8 and see the details. All right, assets declaration. Onahen knows fate Thursday is on page 5. And area commanders, DPOs will pay for killings by subordinates, coming from the Inspector General of Police. Our presidency, PDP and INEC clash over election materials. Opposition to Buhari tender your WAEC certificate. That story is on page 2. And then the words, the exchange here says, PDP is saying the refusal of INEC to release forms is EC8D, EC4OG, and the report of the card readers is therefore a deliberate and vicious disobedience to the orders of the court, for which the management of INEC should be charged for contempt. That's PDP. And then INEC replied, the lawyers representing the petitioners are seized of the state of the law and the courts to take if they truly believe that the commission is in disobedience of the orders of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. Okay, under the story headline, you have this picture element of Governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN Mr. Godwin Emefiele, Minister of Finance Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, Minister of Budget and National Planning Senator Udoma, Permanent Secretary Federal Minister of Finance Dr. Mahmoud Isadoze, and Director General Debt Management Office Ms. Patience Onia at a news conference after the IMF and World Bank Spring meeting in Washington, D.C. on Sunday. Right, Speaker, Bajabiamila lobbies North Central reps. Reps to leader, we won't accept anything but Speaker. We won't accept anything but Speaker. And Buhari APC host reps elect to dinner in Asoro. Go to page 4 and read up this story. Hand sanitizer should be rubbed in for 15 seconds to kill germs. The health story is on page 6. Quickly to the back page of the New Telegraph. Meet on Marble A vote is like a rifle. Its usefulness depends upon the character of the user, Theodore Roosevelt. And the sports story we have this morning is on Tiger Woods. It says Tiger Woods' Masters win gives Nike investors reason for cheer. That's on page 38. Now, Kasim Afogbe on Stomach Democracy this morning writes on, is Nigeria a Nigeria? Is Nigeria a Nigerian? Stomach Democracy, Kasim Afogbe. You have the face of Atiku Abubakar, the presidential candidate of PDP. And let's take a bit of this story. Said he documented his history, tracing his paternity to Wono in Sokoto State, from where his grandfather originated, through Duse, where he maternally germinated, down to Jada, where his grandparents finally settled to give birth to Alhaji Abubakar's father. Atiku is grandfather's name from Wono. Well, talking about Atiku and his nationality. Well, what we just read out is what seems to be the movement of this young man, starting from his grandfathers. Well, so much we want to read up, but well, you know what we do, just a tip of the iceberg before we let the papers go.
Yeah, there are interesting topics there. It looks like Honoria's case is not abating anytime, as the prosecution insists that the suspended CJ, that's former CJ, because he has resigned, is guilty, saying that he actually confessed to hiding his bank accounts, but he actually said he forgot.
Well, I think by Thursday we'll be able to know
the judgment.
The judgment of the court. So for now, we don't need to preempt anything. For me, that's the way I look at things like this, because when you're dealing with the bench, and it has to be with somebody that is so much involved. Talk about the number one man in that situation. I mean, I simply don't give my own. I simply don't give any of input on this, because it's about them, and so whatever comes out is the way we're going to take it. Well, talk about former or not. All I know is that it has to do with the number one, and the number one at this point should be example to every other Nigerian out there. We'll keep our fingers crossed. When the judgment comes out, we'll be able to analyze it. Well, it's all about politics and politics and politics. We urge you to visit your vendor, pick any of the national dailies, and go through the stories as we've given it to you. I will go for a break. When we come back, it will be time for the discussion segment. Still stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stop breakfast show on TV.
Guy, you know that yellow papa where there was street where we're so?
Wait, which one? That one where they trip for me? Now my babe now.
Free me, job. If you not get money, hide your face. I hide my face.
Come, now me you talk like that. Guy, I be big boy. You see this TV so? You know how much I buy am? 200k, see this one. You are poor like don't show the market rat.
True, now me they call market rat. See all those Gucci and Pate where hush puppy they show for Instagram so. Now me buy am for am.
Guy, you know e-money? E-money na my boy. Money where you dey spray, now me give am.
See this one oh, you know that Linda Cage house for Banana Island? Now me dash her.
That one a house? Maybe you know OBO Davido. That 30 billion where they account. Now me borrow am.
Forget it. You see that snake where swallow jam money? Now me send them. Now CBN they go next.
Tuale Baba. Ah hello, Tuale. Where is they?
True? Bros, you just had a lie. Eat them my back.
Hey, what did you do?
Oh yes, You can now purchase MCL decoder and also pay for your subscription at our corporate office located at number 9B Obibo Street opposite Keystone Bank, or MCL outlets located at number 203 Fox Road opposite Heritage Bank by Samek Junction, Aba, or our accredited sales agents, Abarusia Holdings, Zone 18, Shop C, LQA4, Shopping Center, Aba. Best Choice Electronics, Zone 16, ET65 up, behind Eco Bank, Ehi Road Branch, Aba Shopping Center. Symphone Investment Nigeria Limited, Zone 12, AS28, Shopping Center, Aba. Ever Blessed Yahweh Electronics, 156 Ekote Mene Road, Aba. Matiko Communication, number 93 Hospital Road, opposite Amawusa, Aba. Wanchuku Investment, 43 St. Michael's Road, Aba. No Culture Electronics.
Good morning, Abia. Your one-stop breakfast show on TV. Good morning, Abia. Your one-stop breakfast show on TV. Good morning, Abia. Your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
You're welcome back. It's still your one-stop breakfast program on MCLtv. Good morning, Abia. Welcome you to our discussion segment this morning. Okay, we'll be looking at what is happening at the National Assembly at the moment. It's no more news that almost every zone of this very nation wants to have a take at the leadership of the National Assembly, from the President of the Senate to the Speaker of the House of Assembly. You recall that during our newspaper review this morning, we also read out where the speakership is still going on. The torso is going on. Bajabiamila, he has started lobbying the North Central reps as well as other reps from other parts of the country just to be the speaker. And then that of the National Assembly, that's the Senate. The battle is also going on. Who comes out, finally to be the Senate President or the Speaker of the House of Representatives? That is what we'll be looking at this morning. And the intrigues, when you consider the fact that the National Assembly is where most of the decisions are taken, even though the executive pronounces some of them, Everybody's interested. Now, when this is the situation, where lies our hope? I have this morning the pleasure of still having Usobu AK Substance in the studio and Uche Emeku. Gentlemen, you are welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning, Aji. Good morning, Abians.
Thank you. Good morning, Abia.
Let me start with you, Emeku, this morning, because the issue of the Senate President and that of the Speaker of the House of Representatives have been one that have generated so much heat. If you recall what happened at the 8th Assembly, where a lot of things played out, during the campaign for the Senate President, which Saraki finally won, and what has started playing out this time. Must it always be like this? Is there no other better ways of going about it than what we've seen so far?
Yeah, well, after any general election, normally the House will be constituted, and in the constitution of the House, a leader will emerge for the Senate and for the House of Rep, where it is given. And so it is not a new thing for there to be hustling, jostling, for position. So I think it is the normal thing. But then the worrisome situation is that in the case of Nigeria, we really need to look at our geographical settings. We need to look at our religion. We also need to look at our ethnicity so that everything will be balanced and the principle of and the spirit of the federal character principle. So I think it is given. But then the question to be asked is whether there should be an obvious or overt interference into what ordinarily should be the politics of the House.
An in-house thing.
Yes.
Should be an in-house thing. But is it actually an in-house thing? Is a party is also considered political parties, which is actually the structure upon which most of these, all the officers assemble at the at that national house. What do you think is the best way to go about it? So,
I think that we have a problem. The problem we have is that Nigerians don't keep to rules. Nigerians do not realize the importance of their constitution. Even the president of the country who swore, and others who swear to the oath that they will uphold the constitution don't do it. They trample on the constitution of Nigeria. The constitution says that it is an internal affair of the National Assembly. No interference. They choose, he said you choose from among the members of that National Assembly, whether the Senate or House of Representatives. But you'll find out where the executive and the party chairman is now pushing forward, deciding to anoint a candidate. Or a national leader of a party wants to anoint the candidate so that he has people he puts in the Senate, puts in the so he can now be manipulating the resources or whatever that concerns to the country for himself. That is not how it is done. We have the supreme paper or the document that says it is for the people of the legislature to decide amongst them. He didn't even talk about party. He said amongst them. Pick up the constitution, go back and read it. Here we do the wrong things. And these are people who have sworn to uphold the constitution. Many of them are supposed to be impeached.
Well, are they really doing the wrong thing? Let us analyze this critically, gentlemen. You were elected at the platform of a party. You were representing a party. And that party too, no. It's okay. Let's just take it bit by bit.
Okay.
You're coming to the National Assembly at the instance of your party. And your party has a manifesto to protect as well, which they showed to the people. And even at the House of Assembly, at the Senate, or at the House of Rep, you're still representing a party. As much as I agree that it's an internal thing, yes. Doesn't it also concern the party leadership, who also should supervise what their members do at the floor of the House? Shouldn't they play any part in bringing the leaders?
Yes, like I said earlier on at the opening speech, I said, you see, it should not be very obvious. You should not, give an impression that it is the spoils of office that you are only interested in. Lobbying is part of the thing. And this lobbying from outside
should not be so obvious that it begins to offend the sensibilities of Nigerians. So that is just the thing. It's like where you are going for an elective office from your constituency. Now, the people of your constituency will rally around and then ensure that the person, the one they want, gets that office. And in fact, all the corporate bodies around there is also supposed to play a part in it that will not be too obvious. So it is not wrong for a party to want, the party to want their members, to get positions so as to deliver on their mandate. But yes, what is wrong there is when you now begin to apply arrogance and begin to apply high-handedness. You want to show you are a hothead. That is where it is very wrong. Otherwise, what the parties should do, PDP, APC, ABGA, YPP, those who have members there, is only to bring in their members back home, stay in their own office or in under a retreat, and then tell them, look at what we want you to do. We want you to deliver this person for us. And then also this party A or B also goes behind to lobby other parties even to their side. But when you now want to make it as if you are the lord of the manor, you are an emperor, that is where it is bad.
All right, now playing the role of an emperor is where we always try to watch out. So we look at a situation where the federal character comes in, where you want to make sure that every zone is represented as to carry everybody along. And you have a situation as we have it in the country today where APC will be the majority, and other zones that may not have been fortunate enough to produce or to have APC representatives. When it comes to house positions, how do you reconcile it to make sure that everybody is carried along? Because if those positions must go to APC, if APC now says we are the majority, and so we have the speaker, or we have the Senate president, this and that, whereas these positions should also be zoned to other zones in the in this very country. When those other zones do not have representatives, coming from APC, and it is being denied, how do we reconcile it?
You see, that is why I am saying that we are doing the wrong thing. Party or no party, once you are elected, you come on the platform of a party. But who elects you? The people, am I right? Mm-hmm. You are going there to represent the people, am I right? Fine. And when you go there to represent the people, the Constitution of Nigeria said, it didn't say the party, either the majority party or the minority party, must take over the leadership. I'm talking, quote the Constitution. It says that the members of the Senate, the senators, or the members of the House of Representatives, should elect their leaders amongst themselves. That's what the Constitution of Nigeria, the supreme document that our president and the governors and whoever swore an oath to uphold. And we are doing lawlessness in this country. And people just accept it under the platform of party say, party no say. The people now come, because it is based on that constitution. They will elect. Then if you are bringing federal character issue on the matter, we have a president that is from the North Central, from Northwest. We have a vice president that is from the Southwest. We are going to, now, the issue of who becomes the Senate President is open. Among the people they will elect, they will look at the federal character. How do we adjust it so that everybody benefits? You understand what I'm saying? It's from amongst them. If now we want a people for Senate President, those who are going to, we are giving this. Now you are talking about giving the Senate President to a Northerner, a Northeast.
It's not what I said.
No, I mean from the APC point of view.
Yes, of course.
Fine.
Yeah, but if parties playing their politics.
Fine. Yeah, the party is playing. And now they are talking about, APC is talking about Southwest getting the speakership. Then what happens to the Southeast? What happens to the South-South? But I think we should start coming up in this country. That's why I always talk, when I hear people talking about Igbo president, I get angry. I say, look, I want a pan-Nigerian president, but if it is from Igbo extraction, fine. Once we start having leaders that think about Nigeria first. Our vice president went to Rwanda just recently, over the memorial of the genocide of the Hutus and Tutsis, and was shedding crocodile as far as I'm concerned. But the issue there is this. The more killings are done here, more than what happened in the children. They had 800,000 people killed, but here we have millions that have been killed. What we should do is this, that in our society, our leaders should see, in Rwanda now, you cannot say I'm a Hutu or a Tutsi, even in their documents. We are Rwandans. We should see us.
In other words, they've succeeded in eliminating the state of origin stuff.
Fine. They are now seeing themselves as one people. And that is the joy they have in their place. We want leaders that will make Nigeria one people, not on the prism of I'm a Northerner, I'm an Easterner, I am a this thing. The prism of our nation. America say I'm an American.
Okay, now in the 8th Assembly, we had a situation where there was so much battle between the President of the Senate and that of the Deputy President of the Senate, Ike Kuremadu. You recall, that it was always problem until that very last minute where they struck that very deal, and then Saraki had to go back to PDP. And it seemed as if the office of the Deputy Senate President and that of the President started having a bit, a calm atmosphere. Now, why are we always playing party politics in Nigeria, where, like Usobi is saying, it should be about Nigeria, not about party, not about where you're coming from, but Nigeria first. Is what is happening at the National Assembly not part of what is bringing a whole lot of disunity in this nation?
That is the thing. In fact, I want to say that there was no problem between the Senate President's office and that of the deputy. No, there was never a problem, because there was an agreement, a gentleman agreement at the end, the Sin agreement.
No, there was, because APC kept attacking the office of the Deputy President of the Senate, trying to impeach him. At several points, we had that issue, almost impeached him, and it was also forward at some point. So such situation was because he was PDP and this is APC.
Okay, in that case, it wasn't a direct confrontation.
No, it wasn't between. Not between. It was a party thing. That's what I'm saying. Must we continue to play such?
You see, the problem there is that those who have elected to represent us at the National Assembly has not always had Nigeria at the back of their mind. They have not had their constituency at the back of their mind. What they have at the back of their mind is what they can get from that office, how they can enrich themselves, how they can now, move ahead with long convoy and police escort as far as I'm concerned. It is not about Nigeria. But the unfortunate thing is that most of us outside the sphere of leadership do not see, do not criticize, do not scrutinize what is actually happening. Because if we scrutinize this thing and come to, a good conclusion of the activities of these people, I think we need also to, at the point of the election, we also need to bring in people who will go there to represent us. All along, what we have there, like APC is trying to impose the leadership or direct, the leadership of the National Assembly. You find out that at the end of the day, it will only be a case of the vultures gathering around corpse. That is just the way I know I can describe it for me.
What you're bringing on board right now is that Nigeria is like a corpse, and then the
of course that is the impression. Yes, feasting on our commonwealth. What I mean, it is, I am just, that is the nearest, that is the only formula I can see immediately that will give us this thing, because I don't see our leaders, to be people who are for the people, but they are anti-people. And that is why, even at this point, they are not talking about the kind of experience one will bring into the office, the stability, the intellectual capacity of those who will handle this office, their outreach even to the outside world and within, and also how to look at the laws that will be made and give, direction, concrete direction, even to the president. For instance, if the president is going wrong, it is the National Assembly that will ask him to come and give an account, because the National Assembly is also representing, they are representing the people. And so, if the president has gone wrong, they are also supposed to, call them to order. When they refuse to be called to order, then they will start impeachment proceedings. And even the governors, like when you get to the states houses of assembly, you find out that it is the worst. Even the governors have them in the pocket.
Okay.
And so that is just what you...
Now, looking at it from what you just brought out, Usobio, as a nation, that what should be paramount is the interest of the people. The leadership should consider the people first. Now, even in considering that, paint a situation where APC is having the presidency. The president is of APC party, and you now have a Senate president who is of PDP with a different orientation. You now have a House of Rep member who is of a different party. Now, what do you think? Will it work well? From what you're trying to paint a picture where at the floor of the house it should just be about Nigeria, that you shouldn't consider party affiliations anymore. But don't you also think that the president is trying to be very careful where he works, the people he works with? Give us that picture.
Before I start on that answer, I want to toe the line of my friend and comrade that it's a gathering of vultures who come to feast on the corpse. And how do I say so? The resources of this country.
I'm not too comfortable with that.
No, you might not be.
But
we don't want you to be. We don't want you to be. Listen. You know what? We don't want you to be. Don't just allow us. It's our personal view.
No, it's your personal view.
Right.
And the truth is bitter.
Let's open it more. Go ahead. Let's see how far we can go with that.
You might not like it, but that's the truth. See, the resources of this country is the commonwealth of every citizen of this country, even the little unborn child that is in the mother's womb. And when it comes, I wonder where the constitution, where mineral resources like the oil that is meant for everybody, the president now starts giving the largest of giving oil blocks to individuals to make them billionaires. Our resources, you are giving it to individuals to make them billionaires, or you form a company that becomes your company to be mining it for yourself to make money. This money should come to the coffers of the nation. See what is happening in Zamfara. The gold that is Nigerian gold, it is privatized by some few people, and they are mining it with their Chinese connections. And then the citizenry there are in perpetual poverty. That's the kind of country we have. That is why my brother said a country where vultures feast on the corpse. Now, to answer your question, if the president who swore to uphold the constitution of this country recognizes that the executive branch of governance, that the legislature is a different arm of governance, independent of the executive, and both of them recognizing that the judiciary is a different arm of government, which is among even the three, the judiciary is the most powerful. But because they're in the judiciary, starting from the Supreme Court, judges don't know even what they have. They don't know what they are holding. Now, if the people are elected, the fact that you are from PDP and this one is from APC has nothing to do, because there is a document, I still refer to it, there's a document that has given us how to, the interest of Nigerians first, not your personal, selfish, or group interest. If we are to set in infrastructural development in Kwara, we should also budget to first infrastructure development in rivers, in Sokoto. It's not a question of setting on the infrastructure development only to one side of the country. These are what we are saying. That's what the document says. That the interest of our nation, and that is why we are talking about indivisibility of that nation. Everybody belongs to this nation. Nigeria is greater than every other Nigerian. So when you go there, that document, whether you are, I say the leader that is appointed, you are for Nigeria, not for your party.
All right, now Emeko, can you also throw more light on the question I asked him? Now, having a president of a different party from that of the Senate and House of Representatives, look at the situation where our President Buhari is of APC, and then the Senate President is PDP, and possibly to the House of the Speaker from any other party. Can we have such situation? And if we do, what do you think it holds for this very nation?
Yeah, we can have such a situation, and in fact, even in America, sometimes you do have, because the American electorate is so enlightened, so educated that he begins to see. He also buy into the principles of the separation of powers. And in fact, if the PDP had majority of members in the House of Rep and in the Senate, obviously they will have the President of the Senate and the Speaker, if they play the game very well. Because one thing is this: if an unpopular candidate from the party, from those elected, wants to take over power, you find out that even the PDP members will say, no, you are not going to go there, because we don't find you to be popular. You are not going to carry all of us, along. And that is where we now begin to frown at the issue of a party from outside trying to throw in their weight. Because one, you see, the position of the Speaker or that of the Senate, President of the Senate, is a very powerful situation. They can do and undo certain things. They can direct, and they can always get things done their way, because of the particular, our clan, the way we reason amongst ourselves. So such a thing can happen. Also, if a minority party is very adept in political brinkmanship, you will find out that what happened in the last assembly will also happen. In the 7th assembly, that I think Dogara was not, Tambuwal was not to be the speaker, seconded by Ihedon. But because the people went in there and saw that the persons that the party was bringing to them is not that kind of person they can relate with easily. Because don't forget that the stability of the legislature is very important. It is very important. Because if the legislature is very, very, if they are very stable, you find out that even good laws will be made for the generality of Nigerians. And in fact, let me tell you, the legislature is so important that like I said, if the president wants to go, outside the norms of the Constitution, they are the persons. In fact, they are the custodians. They are the principal custodians of the Constitution. They are if the president wants to turn to a dictator, it is the House, the National Assembly, that will say, no, you don't go that way, you don't go that way. In an atmosphere devoid of ethnic sentiments, religious sentiments, cronyism, or selfish or self-serving interest, where you want to come and say, yes, I have been elected to represent my people, and look at what my people want in conjunction and in connection with other people, other representatives in the House. So it is quite possible for us to have a president of different party and the leadership of the National Assembly of a different party. But then I think the most important thing in this arrangement is let the two parties, including the judiciary, let all of them know that yes, they are there for the greater interest of the people.
All right, there for the greater interest of the people. That's the most important thing. At this point, I want to tell our viewers that the line is now open. Let's hear your name, where you're calling from, and what you have to tell us is very important. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, sir. How are you, gentlemen?
We are fine. Good morning. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, I'm Uzama from Abba. Please, if you can just give me 1 or 2 minutes. Let me tell you, in other countries, democracy is for the people and for the people. But in Nigeria, we have our own democracy here. And politicians here see our own democracy here as business. Politicians are professionals. They see our own politics here as profession. So on that angle now, listen to my analysis. It's a situation where in a kitchen, we want to cook food. The other person goes for the water, the other person goes for the firewood, the other person goes for oil. All of us to make food. We are struggling. And the other person will just go and hide. In the name that it is our food, it is our food. When others are struggling and the food is ready, and you now come and say, I want to partake. I want to partake. Now, what I want to say in this is that in Nigeria, people don't know how to, I've always said this, they don't know how to plan for the rulership of Nigeria. They always be shouting, why can't you give us this? The Northerners will plan for the rulership of this country 20 years ahead. It is this time around that even Yorubas have understanding, less alliance with the Northerners, and then they got what they want. But people are here, playing as if we know it all. Outside our food, we are all intelligent, we are white. We don't want to partake in that business. Our own politicians will not go and partake in that business. How can you tell me that you have voted for a governor, and all of us voted for a governor, and you want to tell me that governor will not be a representative from the party, he will go and be a representative from the people who did not vote for him. Now in the leadership of the you are telling me, you want to tell me, no matter whatever the constitution says, you want to tell me that the majority will be here. When they are running up and down, getting the fire, getting the food is ready. You, the minority, will now come and they say you want to participate. When they were planning and struggling, you were there doing your own anything. It is not rational at all. So we should think well. I'm talking about people. We do not know how to plan for the leadership of this country. We want to follow the CPC, and every day we continue to plan with hope. Then we cannot even plan on ourselves. Even internally, we don't even have regard for ourselves. Our leaders here have gone here for selfish reasons. Then why are we talking about president? When they are not there, they are one. Even sheep, even cows can vote for them. But if you do it here in Egypt, and you will see somebody that will point at you. So why are we even shouting every day, calling president? They are more united than the Igbos. Let's go back and find how we will plan and get the leadership of this country. It is not that. Nobody is going to that Igbo man. President, you must work for it. You must go and make water. Try and do everything to make sure that when the food is ready, you will have mouth to talk. I want to eat. But when other people have gone to cook and the food is ready, they want to participate in the eating.
Thank you.
It's not proper.
Thank you.
It is not godly. It is not natural.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I think he made a point. That is a technical aspect of election, being very technical and tactical too. Now, he's talking about positions. He's saying even ahead of the election, you should make some of these games. It's just like in soccer, where in a group you want to avoid, if you know that there's a great opponent in the other group, and your group is going to meet that opponent eventually, you wouldn't want to come second, you want to be the top, so that you'll avoid that group. I know it used to be that way. You do some permutations. And this young man is saying that there is need for us to sit back and decide what we want. remember what we're doing now is trying to open up the National Assembly politics. What goes on in there, who will be there, and who should be there, and how it should be. Because we have all agreed that it has not been the way it should be. So what we're trying to do is to proffer solution. All right, isn't it, gentlemen? Okay, now, so let's take this call and you will now react to it finally. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning and welcome to the program.
Yeah, my name is Akuna.
Akuna, good to hear your voice today. It's been a while. How are you?
I'm fine.
All right, go ahead.
I want to thank you and to thank the guests you have. They are doing a good job. But my take is I don't want to talk on 2 points. One, you as a moderator asked a question about what happened to Johnny, the president from the north.
Yes.
Yeah, but I want to say in the 7th Assembly, you remember what happened? Yoruba was excluded. So Jonathan, with the somebody from the north, and the senior president also, you know what happened, man, and the guy from the good state. In the
Ike Kuremado.
Ike Kuremado, between Alpha, and so Yoruba was completely excluded. And that brings me, if you look underneath, that is what Tinubu and Co are fighting back. They say that we start, because they also take staff and back that they then their pride during that 7th Assembly. So they are trying to give us back. Mark my word. This one I don't think it's that way. That's why if you go to the APC, they're not even saying APC National Assembly, they're not considering that. So this is the back of your heart. That is where I have been. Yes. Because of what happened in 7th Assembly. I'm telling you the truth. Then coming to what you talk about the National Assembly, we are all, who are those people there? Assemblies of state governors. I don't think all of them are not even going there for as a call vote or going to their body. No, I don't relevant, nothing more. What's about the limit? What's about the limit? What is the what's in the Senate? For goodness sake, you know what you got. I don't go to the Senate. You have a business for that over the trend on how to pass through. Only important thing to do is discard them. What are their government? And they are going there. You think they're going there to look for money. They're not looking for money. Don't sell elephant. Don't sell elephant. Don't sell elephant. That's the one. It is very unfortunate.
Right, I want to ask you this question, Akuna.
That's what I want to say.
No, Akuna, don't, before you go, I want to ask you, what do you think is the way out? Somebody just raised an issue, and what do you think we should do? Because of time, just 1 minute. Just 1 minute.
The way out is one. There should be a considered amendment, one. That is for making for the leadership, like the government. We are not going to contest any other election after 1 term. That's number one. Then number two, we need a distraction, like what the other man was saying, the man on white was saying. We have a distraction. Let's think about the country first. The distraction is a problem. Believe me, even between me and you, that's the problem. This we are saying we are not talking because we are talking. If anything happens here, we start looking at the tribe, we start looking at the state, we start looking at where we come from. And if one of us is settlement in the country, an answer man that is a matter to Ghana, that's a Christian, doesn't matter. About the government is an answer, it's not an answer. We need to start walking away from the tribe. It's difficult. I'm not saying it's difficult.
All right.
All right.
Okay, we should try to do something about our. All right. Thank you very much, Akuna. You all heard him. Well, finally, because of time, you want us to proffer the solution. Just 2 minutes, each of us. Let's also consider what he has said. I think one of us also mentioned the state of origin thing. In US, what they have is your place of birth, not place of origin. You don't have any state of origin. What you have is your state of birth. And you, as long as you are an American, you are an American. No matter the state you're coming from, you can be born in this very state, but you can contest election in any state because He's a general, it's just a country. We don't talk about state of origin. So how much damage has he done to us and what is the way? Just 2 minutes. After that, I'll take it from any picture.
The way out is this. Both the national leader of APC, who intends to plant in people who become Senate President and nation, should stay off the activities of the Senate as said by the Constitution of Nigeria. The members of the Senate and the members of the House have to decide, choose from amongst themselves who will be their leaders.
Irrespective of the party.
Irrespective of the party. That's what the Constitution says.
And it should be adhered to.
It shall be adhered to the Constitution. What the Constitution of Nigeria says. That's the law, the order that they swore an oath to uphold.
And by so doing,
that is the only way there can be peace in this place.
Thank you very much. Anemeku.
Yes, the issue is that, like you said, it should be about your state of origin. I mean, a state where you were, place of birth, state of birth. It should be a situation of this is Nigeria, it is not Yoruba. And if we continue to play this game from outside into the National Assembly, as represented by Oshomole and Tinubu, there is no how we will not reach. The arrangement will not have ethnic coloration, and it is not going to be in our best interest. And at most, what they are looking for are those who will toe their line of reasoning even from outside. If they want to carry this whole country, they are very free to carry. But one thing every one of us should realize, including those who are trying to make input from outside, is that it is dangerous to compete with God.
Dangerous to compete with God. You've used another phrase. Earlier on, you had said that Nigeria is like a corpse being feasted on by vultures. Okay, you've also said contesting with God, right? Whether you're contesting with God or yourself, or you want to destroy this nation or move the nation forward, something should just be at the back of our minds. Governance is about the people. It's not a family affair. It's about everybody. And high time we begin to also look at why it's necessary that we remove the state of origin of a thing from our constitution and have it our place of birth. That is very, very important. I want to thank you so very much, Substance, for coming again today.
Thank you, Aji.
I must also extend it to you, Emeku, for always finding time to be here.
It's my pleasure.
And our viewers, we also want to thank you for being part of this discussion, and I apologize to you again. Those of you calling in at this time, that we may not be able to take your calls again. Try again tomorrow. We'll pick it when we come your way with another interesting topic. We'll go for a break. When we come back, it will be time for sports with Jonah Hodge. Don't go away.
Goodmorning, abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV. Goodmorning, abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Good morning, and it is always good to be on this segment. That is the sports segment of our program. My name is Jonah Oje. We shall be taking a look in the world of sports so that we get ourselves informed in what is happening in that exciting world of sports. Right now, we want to start with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, who are actually engaging in various degrees of preparations to make sure that they do well during the 2019 African Cup of Nations that will take place in Egypt. I want to tell you that Eagles will pocket 1.6 billion naira if they win the 2019 African Cup of Nations title. All the countries competing these Summers African Cup of Nations in Egypt will receive at least $600,000 each. The Confederation of African Football has announced following the draw that took place in Cairo on Friday, April 12th. For the Super Eagles, for the first time in history of the competition, for the 24 teams are participating, and this will bring additional revenue to CAF. And according to CAF President Ahmed, the winner of the AFCON will take home $4.5 million, equivalent of 4 million euros or 1.6 billion naira, in addition to the trophy they will raise on July 19. And that will mean a good thing for the Super Eagles of Nigeria if actually they win such a title. The Super Eagles have been drawn with Guinea, Madagascar, and Burundi in Group B, and in Group D of the 2019 African Cup of Nations. And Shadow sees the three-time African champions open their campaign against the Swallows the Alexandra Stadium, Alexandra, on June 22. And we hope that the Super Eagles of Nigeria will do themselves a whole lot of good by winning the title, and of course come back with a trophy and with 1.6 billion naira. 1.6 billion naira, what a huge amount of money it is. So we want them to make sure that they give their best and return back home with such prize, and of course with the trophy. All right, away from that, now we want to tell you about what happened in the English Premier League fixture that actually took place yesterday. It was between Arsenal and of course Watford. That game was played at the stadium of Watford, but at the end of the 90 minutes there, it was Arsenal that defeated Watford by 1-0, and that goal came through Arsenal striker Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who had to take advantage of that mistake by the goalkeeper of Watford, Ben Foster, who actually did not clear his line very well, allowing Aubameyang to score such a goal. And with that result, Arsenal has actually leapfrogged Chelsea in fourth place, which means that they are in top four now, moving Chelsea to the fifth position in the English Premier League. All right, we have the big ones that will be coming tonight. That is the UEFA Champions League return leg there. We will be witnessing two fixtures that will take place tonight in the UEFA Champions League. Different clubs will now engage each other at different stadiums across Europe to make sure that they qualify for the next round of the UEFA Champions League. There are Italy. Juventus will fight out against Ajax. They will be fighting out against Ajax. This time, Cristiano Ronaldo will be making his return to face their counterpart from Holland. In another fixture, there at Camp Nou, Barcelona will be entertaining Manchester United, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be hoping that his boys will turn the table around against Barcelona, even though that will be a tall order. Those are the fixtures that you will be watching in the UEFA Champions League tonight. So you do well to cheer clubs to victory. You have every right in the board to shout and shout on top of your voices as you cheer your clubs to victory. But like we'll always say, football has nothing to do with entertainment. It has nothing to do with violence. It is 100% entertainment. So you go out there, entertain yourselves, and be free from troubles. With that, I hand you over to Ajoba.
Thank you very much, Jenna, for that sports update. So much to look out for today is in the Champions League. Barcelona and Manchester United, a very tall one, I hope you know.
Yes, a very tall one, and in the first leg of that encounter, Manchester United lost 1-0 at home to Barcelona, but this time they will be going to Camp Nou, and it's a big stadium, and one will expect their fans to be a kind of intimidating factor to Manchester United.
But Manchester fans were there when they scored, so they can also score. Nothing says you can't score in somebody's home.
Yeah, I must tell you that Camp Nou is a big stadium, but football, like they will always say, is just like biscuit, you don't know where it will crack. If Manchester United will be able to calm their nerves today and marshal out their plans, they will be able to beat Barcelona. But I must tell you that with the kind of performance I saw Manchester United put up in the first leg, it will be a tall order for them.
All right, let's just watch out and see what happens. Well, that's for you to savor this evening as well as other things. It's always interesting to know that something like this is coming at the end of the day for you to relax with. Of course, watching and going to bed is always a nice thing. Thank you once again, Jenna, for the sports update. And to you, our viewers, to say a million thanks to you for being part of the program today. Hope you've enjoyed every bit of it. We'll come your way again tomorrow, same time, same station. And Asala Chomabia will come up after now. Do have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
MCL, the ward in your home. MCL, the ward in your home.